Today on the Great White Shark Experience podcast, we have Elton Polly Back with us for the Sardine Run Special. Over the next few months, one of the largest migrations per biomass is travelling up the coast of South Africa. Elton and the GoDive Mossel Bay crew will be running tours to dive with the giant bait balls along with the many ocean predators that follow them. Today we explore what the Sardine Run is and all the craziness that happens when you embark on a Sardine Run adventure. A full-on Blue Planet experience. So, Elton Polly, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. It's good to be back.
Yeah, so we're going to do a Sardine Run special today.
Sardine Run, what's that?
What is the Sardine Run?
Yeah, what is the Sardine Run? Yeah.
But yeah, so you started GoDive a few years ago.
Yeah.
And now you've taken over a company, you're expanding, you're going up to do the Sardine Run now for the Wild Coast.
All of a sudden, like if you had asked me a month ago if I'm going to Sardine Run, I'd be like, nope. And now
3 weeks ago?
Yeah. Well, luckily we've had a lot of experience on Sardine Run. We know what the game is about and stuff. It's just going to be a new area for us, new boat again. So yeah, a lot of work to do, getting all ready, getting everything like in ship shape, but it's going to be good.
How's Nat feeling about a new boat?
Let's not mention
not
that.
talk about that one.
No, she's the voice of reason. She's sitting on my shoulder the whole time, and she's like, "I think you should do this," and then in the beginning, I'm like, but then slowly when you listen to it, it's like it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, and it ends up going exactly the way she said it should.
You should,
so,
yeah. No, yeah. Got a good head on her.
Need to learn to pay more attention when she talks the first time.
I can see it in your eyes. You just like glaze over. Yep, just say yep in the gaps, and then later on you're like, should have listened to that.
Yeah, it's just I've got this like plan in my head. Everyone's telling me like different things, and eventually like I realize I'm not as clever as I thought I was. But anyway, yes, there is a new boat. It is busy being revamped and pontooned and
needed a little bit of work.
Needed a little bit of sprucing up just to make it, it was a good boat.
Yeah.
It's good motors.
Well, it's already done Sardine Run, hasn't it? So
it's done a bunch of Sardine runs, and it worked very hard in Allawal as well. So it's tried and tested. Just needed some makeup, just a makeover.
Yeah. So this area you're going to now. So we should start with what is the Sardine Run?
A lot of people ask me that, and I'm trying to sell the Sardine Run packages like on the boat or wherever. I'm always like, with the Sardine Run, to describe it like quite simply, it's like a war zone. It literally is. It's like, obviously the sardines are migrating around the tip of South Africa and up the east coast, and all the predators are following it. So you've got the dolphins, the whales, the birds, the sharks, everything is there, and obviously us as well. And we like get ringside seats to the greatest show on earth, I always say. It is like a war zone. So you jump into the water, you never know what you're going to expect, but you do see fish, and they are making bait balls, and you just have different predators like smashing them from all angles. The birds are flying in from the top, the dolphins, the fish, the sharks, whales, everything all right there in front of you, and it's mind-blowing to
all
see.
Following these billions of sardines that are just traveling up the coast.
If you don't really know what the Sardine Run is, there's so many videos that you can just watch on like YouTube and stuff. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. What is it they follow? What current is it they follow?
So on that side, it's the warm Mozambique current.
Yeah.
So, and I think what happens is actually, from what I've heard and what I understand from other people, the warm Mozambique current actually traps cold water pockets in up the coast, and the sardines travel in those cold water, and that's why they come in so close to the coast as they're coming up. Yeah.
Okay.
So they try and follow those cold water currents, and the Sardine Run typically we have in those areas like 19 to 22 degrees water. So it's not cold, not freezing cold. It's just cooler water. So,
you can feel the temperature dropping now as well.
You can, it's starting to get cold. But the interesting thing is that already we're starting to see signs of sardines over here. So I think it's going to be a good run, and I think it's going to maybe be a little earlier than what it normally is. There's a lot of sardines off the coast here. We've seen them.
And we're starting to see gannets coming into the bay and everything. So
huge pods of dolphins, all moving, everyone getting into action for the game that's about to start. I'm so excited.
It's going to be mad, isn't it? But so you've done a few before, haven't you?
I think 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. I took my first group to Sardine Run, but we went to Port St. John's. We went with a company there called Allawal Dive Centre. Amazing experience. And we stayed at a place called the Grunter Lodge, and that was, for me, it was like the first one I'd done, and I loved it. I loved it. And then we went back the next year and the next year and the next year, and now all of a sudden it's like we have our own opportunity.
Own company, yeah.
So obviously Port St. John's has got a lot of nice advantages. It's very logistically easy. You put your boat in the water, in the river, all the accommodations like lined up on the river, and then you head out, and there's quite a hectic surf launch to get out there, but then there's so many operators out there that there's quite a lot of competition for the action. So a bait ball pops up, and if you happen to be the closest one, you're lucky enough. But otherwise, if somebody else beats you there, then you kind of like got to wait your turn and stuff like that. So where we are now, it's a little bit further south, but there's not as much competition for any action. So we're very excited. It's a tried and tested. It's a good sardine run area. Blue Wilderness has been running there for a while. Pisces. From Cape Town.
Blue Wilderness were they not one of the ones who first started Sardine Run?
Yeah, I think Blue Wilderness was one, like Mark Addison back in the day was one of the very first pioneers of the Sardine Run thing. I'm not 100% sure all the history of it, but that's what I've heard. And but yeah,
it's what you see on Blue Planet basically. It is the water, lots of fish, gannets, whales, dolphins.
In my experience, I've watched a lot of the documentaries and stuff, and it always seems to be very crystal clear water and massive. It's not really like that in real life in my experience. It's like the water's a little murkier. There's not always these huge, big static bait balls that you can scuba dive with. It's a lot of fast-moving action, but dolphins, whales, it's all there. Everything. And it happens right in front of you. Like if you're not careful, dolphins are going to like ram into you. Like you need to like be watching like it's a real war zone.
No, it is incredible, and like there's so many like weird, unique. I mean, it's basically a ocean safari, isn't it? And it's one of those things like seeing birds underwater.
Yeah,
for me, it's got to be one of the weirdest things.
Have you seen it?
I haven't, but I've seen the clips, and I really want to see it in real life because
those gannets are so graceful as they're circling, and then they all just start like making noises as they like drop into the water. You can hear them, and once they're underwater, they're not graceful at all. They're like they're swimming little one fin at a time, one wing at a time. But they dive down to like 5 or 6 meters and eat fish down there. So it's incredible. It's beautiful to watch. It's and the dolphins.
I'm terrified. I'm just going to be there, like minding my own business and get a gannet poking out your shoulder.
And the other thing that I found like really amazing is like the coordination of the dolphins. So the minute you get into the water, even before you get in the water, you can hear them. But once you're in the water, it's loud. They're communicating with each other. They all totally in sync with what each other's doing. Like 4 or 5 dolphins will come in from a certain angle, other dolphins, and they all just know exactly where to go, and they move like it's incredible. You got to watch it. You got to see it. And then there'll be like 1 or 2 that are a little confused and doing their own thing, like the crazy uncle or something. But like you must see it. It's like a coordinated feeding frenzy. It's you can't describe it really. You need to see it.
And it's been like you've turned this around and you're doing it over the next. I mean, you weren't doing this 3 weeks ago. You're doing it now. Yeah. And logistically, you've pulled this all together in a few weeks.
I haven't been on the shark boat much since this all happened. I've literally been just driving around, buying things, fetching things, fixing things, papers, permits, all that kind of stuff. There are really a lot goes into it. Because remember, on the wild coast of South Africa, or that Transkei coast, there is nothing. There's no shops. You can't just quickly nip out and go and buy a wheel bearing or a starter motor or a gearbox or something. You need to have backup plans for everything. Everything that comes. Duct tape, wire, cable ties, silicon. Those are your best friend out there. Like when something breaks, you need to stick your finger in it. Don't take your finger out until we get back to shore. Yeah, exactly. So you know, it's a certain amount of planning. You need to take all your tools with. You need to take a compressor to pump your cylinders. You need to take all the dive gear. Don't forget the masks. Don't forget the thing. Like you need to literally bring everything with you because you just can't get anything there. Yeah. The closest place like is East London, but like where do you go and shop and all that? So
I mean, they're not easy things to find, are they? Like even in a city, like finding a compressor, like bearing or something.
That exact spare that you're looking for. No, you need to make sure you've got it with you. So
everything.
But it's actually fun. I've got all these to-do lists that I'm not getting done. I've got these some to-do lists that I am getting done. But it's just fun coordinating and lying in bed at night thinking like, oh, I need to get this. I need to be like make a little note. Tomorrow you go out and get it. And like now you're like. We're ready. We can do this.
Until you get there and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Where's that one little piece?
You'll never be 100% prepared for it.
No.
It's like, it's the area is wild. The action is wild. It's not like diving in an aquarium or even like going to Sardine Bay and doing a reef dive. It's wild there. It's like you're gonna slip into the water and anything could be there.
Yeah.
And anything is there.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
And you've already got some booking. Well, we've taken over this year, so you've not had much time to pull it, but you've got bookings, and there's some old people coming back from way back when. Not old people.
Yeah, we've got some really cool people coming back. We've got some good bookings. I think we've booked out since the Crawford's Lodge for 5 weeks.
That place looks insane.
It's beautiful. The food, man. I mean, even if there's no sardines, the food was worth it.
Yeah. Because I've seen obviously some of the accommodation that they stay in further up the coast, and it's quite rudimentary and it's nice and everything, but this place is like luxury.
Look, when you talk about the Sardine Run, you're there for the action. You're there for the marine wildlife. That's what you're there for. The accommodations, it's nice if it's nice.
Extra.
It's nice, but you're not going to want anything when you stay there. The food is incredible. It's like the accommodation, the beds, all air-conditioned rooms. It's
even just for a holiday, you'd be happy.
I think we went there just for a weekend just to check it out and see where the launch sites are and all that. And as far as I've experienced Sardine Run, this is probably the best. So let's say you wanted to travel and you came with your wife who didn't dive, who wasn't interested in doing it. She would still have things to do. She could go and get there's like a spa there, and like there's tons of other things to do. So
it looks insane. It looks absolutely gorgeous. And it's right on the beach as well. Like you're overlooking the thing as well.
Are you excited to jump in the water and guide?
I'm nervous. I'm not going to lie. I am like nervous, but it's always been one of those things on the cards that I've wanted to do for like a long period of time. It's just never come up. It's never been possible. Everything, like Tammy's always been off or something's been off, and this year, like,
are you not worried about getting pegged in the back of the head by a gannet as it dives?
Yes,
I was scared of that. And then you look at these little missiles coming all around you, and you're like.
Honestly, I've watched all the videos and I'm not bothered about the whales, the dolphins, even the sharks. Absolutely fine. The gannets coming down like little spears. It's like a dartboard. It's Russian roulette. You jump in, you're looking up, and they're.
Luckily, they know what they're doing. They don't just like, but it's been close sometimes. You're like, dude, come on,
dude, a little bit further.
Easy. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I think we're 100% prepared, and. I think this was very quick for us. So the bookings wise, we've got a lot of people interested in next year who couldn't quite make it with the budgets and the time away from work and stuff like that. They couldn't quite make it, but 2024 is going to be a big one. There's a lot of people. I think we have a list of about 20 to 30 people that are
already booked in, ready to go.
Yeah.
And it's good because this year is a good practice run for you.
Yeah.
Running it start to finish, 6 weeks of
launching the boat
chaos.
And all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's not like it hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
We've seen it happen. They've been doing it like at the same area from the same lodge for the past couple of years and stuff. So it's definitely manageable. It's doable. We've got all the equipment.
Your skippers also, they've done the Sardine Run before. They know what
Louis is a great skipper. He's actually works for a research company as well. So he's always on the ocean. He knows all the little places to launch their boats from, and he really knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
So from that side of things, I'm happy to just say, okay, you do it. You do what you do.
Here's the keys. Go for it.
I'll be guiding some of the groups, and you take me where you want to take me. He knows it. So, but then once you get into the water, then that's where
game on.
Yeah, game on.
And you were saying the other day that like when you dive in, there's like a whole system. Like you don't want to crowd the bait ball. You don't want to get too close.
Yeah, there's some certain etiquette with the other operators, and then obviously like things to not do, like when you actually have a bait ball in front of you. So just for instance, like remember the sardines are trying to get away from all the predators. If you as your group are like kind of all over the place and you allow the dolphins to chase the sardine ball underneath you, then basically you're providing cover for the sardines, and the dolphins kind of lose interest. They can't carry on feeding as they were. So you can actually destroy a bait ball very easily. So you need to kind of like have your dive master keeping the guys in the right kind of formation. And I think from what I've experienced, a nice kind of formation is having your guys in a bit of a semicircle, if you can imagine that, and the dolphins and the predators can actually use you as a barrier to
Yeah.
herd the sardines up against, because like they can't move past you obviously, and the surface is there. So if you get it just right, like those conditions just right, you can have the ball actually become static in front of you, and you
Yeah.
can sit there for sometimes 2 or 3 hours just watching dolphins eating this thing, and the ball starts off massive in the beginning, and then slowly
As it gets
until
eaten.
you're left with like this little handful of sardines that are like, and then the dolphins are like, you
I'm done
guys,
with it.
you guys
can go.
Yeah. So yeah, and then obviously like you don't want to, if there's another boat already in the water on a bait ball, you don't just charge up and jump in and ruin everything for them.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a system. If you've got a bait ball and you're in control of it and you're with it, you can invite other people into the water, or you can jump out and let them come in. Which generally doesn't happen too much, because the action's over like within 20 minutes. So it's hard to get your guys who are seeing like a beautiful bait ball out of the water,
Come on
so the
out,
next
guys,
guy can get in. But you kind of need to share. And that's
Work
the one,
together. Yeah, with everyone
that's the
else.
one thing about Port St. John's is a lot of operators. So like I said, you get over there, there's another boat in your way, you got to kind of wait it out and stuff. You don't always get as much action. Where we're going now, there'll be 3 boats total. It's like our boat and another Pisces got 2 boats.
Yeah.
So so have to see how it is. And then obviously it's nice that we can maybe share some information, chat to each other on the radio.
Yeah.
One go north, one go south, kind of work
Figure
out
out
what the
where
thing
they are,
is.
yeah.
And then call the other guys to come and enjoy your action if you got
Yeah.
it today, and tomorrow he'll call you.
Yeah. And it's seasonal, isn't it? So like, like they're roughly passing the coast at a specific time of year.
Yeah.
So the action for you is probably going to be slightly earlier than
we've
Port
seen
St.
some good
John's.
action already from this area, like I said. So it looks like it's going to be quite an early run.
Yeah.
I think our time slots that we've booked are the last week of May as our first one,
Yeah.
and then goes on through June. I think that's perfect for that area.
Yeah.
And then a little later they'll be passing like Port St. John. So maybe from like mid-June. I think I was chatting to Nikki from Blue Ocean. She said like our last week is kind of her first week. So
Right.
you can kind of plan. You can plan the progress.
roughly where they're going to be. Sort of.
Obviously you'll never get it 100% right, and you might get the tail end or the head end, or maybe the thick of it in the middle. But and when we were there, we did see quite a lot of dolphin action. So it looks like all the players are there. It's just waiting for the game to kick off.
Just hoping for the best. Yeah.
They're waiting for the fish.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. And not obviously Sardine Run's completely separate. You can't drive towards Wales, but you do often see whales underwater.
I would say, it's kind of like the highlight of the trip. Anyone that's wanted to be in the water with whales, it's hard not to.
Yeah.
You jump in the water on a bait ball, and if you spend enough time there, a whale's going to pass you. Like you can literally sit there on the boat and be like, there's a whale, there's a whale, there's a whale, there's a whale, and they're all kind of moving past. So wherever you are, like in the water,
it's like a big highway, isn't it?
It's a big highway of
it's a big
whales,
motorway.
just like zipping up and down. Sometimes it's mothers with calves. We try and keep away from them, but it's not always possible. Sometimes you're in the water and even just cooling off, and the skipper will tell you, like, look over there in the distance, there's a whale coming. Everyone just like comes together, keeps very quiet, and if you're lucky, the whale passes you. If you're not, it dives down deep or passes wide. But
you've had some interesting experiences with.
I nearly got bitten by a whale the one time. I had actually the one time I was in the water, and kind of the guys were starting to head back to the boat, and next minute like the skipper tells me like there's a whale coming. So I like look up, I'd see just like a bit of a blow, so I like go underwater. I'm like just getting to the point where I'm thinking it's not happening, and then this whale comes like right in front of me. It's coming straight at me, and I like kind of like move out of its way, and its peck almost touches me. And as I look up, there's another one over here. So like these 2 pectoral fins coming past, and I had to like zigzag in between them. And it was incredible. And sometimes they pass so close that you can actually see its eye like looking at you. Little barnacles and everything. It's amazing.
They are incredible whales, even when you see them from the boat. But to see one underwater must be
And then quite often, especially just maybe I've noticed it more when windy times. They want to breach all the time. They like just breach and breach and breach. So if you got a nice long lens camera, you get the most incredible shots of the whales breaching. So that's spectacular. If you're a whale person,
we should actually look to see if we can get sponsorship for a good camera and stuff. I might actually see if we can ping, because it would be amazing to see what we
You'll
can
get the best shots. You really will. You'll get the best shots. If you're a bird person, dolphin person, whale person, shark person, ocean person,
and if you're not, then we don't want you anyway. You're not welcome. Who are you? Who are these people? But it does sound like an incredible just event.
Yeah.
Like I've heard it's the biggest migration on the planet per biomass.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but
I've also heard that, and then I've heard that you can see it from satellite images. You can see the big patches. So I know that for us on the quieter days or days where we couldn't get out to sea, we went up on the high cliffs to go and see where the action is, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you can actually see big black patches moving
just
past.
dark patches.
Dolphins, gannets, everything. So it's definitely like it's massive. Like if you free dive down into that bait ball, it kind of consumes you. They like move out of your way. You go right into it. Not even a bait ball, like just the sardines as they're migrating.
Yeah.
And they move out of your way. You go like right in, and they close up on top of you. So everywhere you look, it's just sardines.
Just sardines everywhere.
It's actually a little unnerving. It's a little scary. Being like at any
you don't know which way's up.
You don't know which way's up, but also that like at any point it could just separate and this big shark could come through, or a dolphin or a whale or whatever. So like I'm getting back to the surface now.
I need to get out of this one. You said you've seen a white shark.
We've seen a white shark one time on when we were at the Sardine Run from Port St. John's. It wasn't actually like on a bait ball, it wasn't hunting or anything. We just like kind of saw it from the surface. A few of us jumped in. It was kind of murky water just behind the back line. It wasn't a great experience.
Yeah.
So we
got out,
that one,
rather.
But we saw a nice mako shark on one of them. We saw a bull shark. We saw a couple of bull sharks. All the big sharks are there, and there's so many black tips as well. Oceanic black tips.
Yeah.
Mostly, there's a lot of those.
I'm excited to see those. I do love the black tip. I kind of want to see bull sharks as well. Actually, they seem like incredible sharks. It's definitely been on my bucket list for a while.
Orcas pass there as well. Everything. It's like any marine predator you can think of, they're
there. Yeah. So they're like the go-to event of the year for everything in the ocean.
It's probably one of the most exciting marine activities you can do. Like everyone talks about going and jumping in crystal clear water with whale sharks, and I would love to do that. I've never done that, but if you're going to offer me a sardine run or a whale shark experience, I'm going to take the sardine run because there's just so much more to do, and it's a wild experience.
It's wild. That's the main thing. I see those touristy and like cage diving to a certain degree, like sort of touristy experiences, which are like one thing and they're great. And sometimes you see whale sharks and there's like 20 people around them and all trying to get their pictures and things. But then you do these sort of experiences where it's wild. Yeah. It's not.
It's orchestrated. You can't tell what's going to be.
It's not scripted. There's no plan, and it's brutal as well. Like 9 hours on a boat. It's not for everyone.
You've got to be quite kind of fit to do it. You know that like you're going to launch 7 or 8 o'clock, and you're only going to be back at 3 o'clock, and you're going to have harsh sun beating down you the whole time. You're going to be in your wetsuit the whole day. Yeah. There are going to be times where you're going to be miserable, and then next thing, this huge big eruption starts up near the boat, or somebody calls us and tells us something's happening, and we go zooming off into the distance, and then you get there and you forget about all that, and you're not hungry anymore, and you're not thirsty. You don't need the bathroom. It's like
you're just carrying on, just grinding through it.
So it's draining. You get back to the lodge, you like shower, go for a nap, and wake me up at 7 when dinner's ready, kind of thing. And then it's always nice also in the bar to have like 1 or 2 beers, talk about the action of the day with the other dive masters and stuff, and then get a nice early night in for you can do it all again tomorrow.
Do it the next day. But I think it's going to be interesting, and I think we'll definitely do a few podcasts.
We must take the equipment and just talk about our daily experiences. It's amazing.
We've got some awesome people going as well, and I think that just having their perspective, people who've never done it before, their first experience, jumping in the water with whales, dolphins, sharks.
That's the other thing I totally forgot about is like when you've done it like 3 or 4 or 5 times, you know what to expect, but then you get in the water with people that are like seen it for the first time. You get back to the boat, and even a very smallish bait ball that only lasted, let's say, 5 minutes, their minds are blown. They've just seen dolphins eating fish right in front of them, sharks, everything just...
I guess that's what people go for, isn't it? Because you go to a safari everyone wants to see the lions hunting. I mean, it's nice to see lions let down, but you want to see them hunting. And this is the ocean version of that.
It's literally a big hunt, start to finish. If you see a fish, something's trying to eat it.
and then you have to realize that you might be one of them.
You're in the mix of it. Like I remember this one guy, he really got bumped properly by a whale. His name was Bruno. It was my first or second sardine run. He really got bumped pretty hard. And
whales look big and soft, but they're not. They're hard.
and we were like, I was the dive master, but I just got back on the boat. All the clients were getting back. I was helping some people out. The next minute, this whale pops up right next to Bruno, and it kind of bumps him. So I look at the skipper. I'm like, should I get back in quickly, like go and help him? And Bruno's head pops up, and he's like, yeah. you nearly just died and it was the best experience of your life.
Yep.
Yeah. And everyone talked about that for the rest of the thing. Like the whale that nearly ate Bruno.
He's still dining on that now.
Yeah,
Bruno is still at a bar somewhere going, well, this one time.
At Sardine Run, this whale nearly ate me and I loved it. Yeah. So he had such a great time.
I think I remember going to Shark Explorers a few years ago, and we were having a drink with Monet there, one of the guys who comes film through with the film crews every now and then. And he's got this fin on the wall, this freediving fin, and that's the survivor. The other one's inside a whale somewhere, and some guy's leg just got bumped. His fin came off and went in the whale, and the surviving fin is now on the wall.
That's the thing, you can never tell how the whales are going to act. Like sometimes you get them, they're not interested in you at all. They see you and they dive down deep. Other times they come past and they check you out. Then sometimes they'll like circle around a few times. Like you'll see them and then they'll be gone and then they come back. And you just never know what you're going to get. You don't know, like it's wild Africa.
Yeah.
So, really special.
It is going to be exciting, and I'm super stoked to do it. And just some of the footage, I think, is going to be mind blowing.
Yeah.
We just need to keep putting out updates as well of what we're seeing, because like
people need to know about this.
Well, this is the thing as well, and you do see obviously some content going out, and a lot of people make videos, and there's like one-off videos, but like day-to-day action, you don't see much of that. And it's people like, it's good to show people like, yes, today was shit, the weather was crap, we couldn't do it, but today we had an amazing action. And like you said, like you go for a week, but you kind of got to write a couple of those days off as maybe not great.
I mean, I say that, but I can't remember any time. I think each Sardine run we've maybe had one day where we still tried, we still went out. It was just really like miserable out there. And we like just made a call as a group, let's rather go back and let's go and do quad biking or go for a game drive or something. You're going to do something on the land on one of your days or whatever. But even those days that are a little slower than others are still mind-blowing, still like an amazing experience. But just my advice, don't come and try and do 1 or 2 days of Sardine Run and think you're going to get the whole experience. You might get a whale on the first day, and then the next day a super pot of common dolphins, and then the next day some sharks. You can't. It's like you're not guaranteed to get everything on one day. You need those days to kind of like make your average
everything out. Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be one of those. And yeah, you've got to take it as it is. It's wildlife at the end of the day, isn't it?
Super
you can't
exciting.
predict it, but fuck, it's going to be.
It's like any wildlife experience, really. But like your odds are good because there's so many fish and there's so many predators. So all you need to do is like hunt. You got to like hunt for the fish like everybody else.
Yeah.
You go and find them, and you find your fish. You're going to find something interesting.
You're going to see something. Yeah.
So even like people that don't spend much time in the water, you don't need to be scuba qualified. It's mostly like a freediving activity.
Yeah.
So that also makes it quite easy. So you don't putting on all this heavy gear and like backward rolling and getting. You just weight belt with a couple of weights, mask, fins, wetsuit. That's all you really need, and your GoPro, obviously. Slip into the water, get some action, jump back on the boats.
Yeah.
So very excited. Can't wait for it. A lot of work to do still though. Still quite a lot to do on the boats and quite a lot to do logistically. Paperwork that needs to be filled out.
Yeah, you've pulled this together pretty quickly. There's a lot to do.
A lot of work, but
how did you describe it with your plate?
When your plate's like full and you know like you're not going to get to all this, and somebody comes past and dumps like a whole other scoop on top, and you're like,
here we go.
There's always something to do.
Yeah, awesome. Well, no, I'm super stoked, super excited, and I'm very much looking forward to this. So
let's do it. Let's make this the best one.
Yeah, it's going to be good. And 2023 and 2024, here we come.
2024 is going to be the one.
But we'll call it here. I want to say we'll call it here. But thank you very much for coming on, and awesome, we got it this time. Just as an FYI, I did film one before and then forgot to plug the mics in. I knew it was going to happen at some point during this podcast series, but
nice one, Mark.
Today,
well done.
Here we go. We pulled it back. But thank you very much for coming on, and we'll do another one soon.
Cheers. I'm looking forward.